Hi there everybody, welcome in to another live session. A little bit good timing I think as we assess what Bitcoin is doing coming into this Thursday US session. Just seem to be finding a little bit of demand now, so won't hesitate, let's jump in. If you were coming from the Discord or the Telegram, just jump in the YouTube chat for us. Not keeping an eye on those channels at the minute as we are live. But yeah, Bitcoin really testing this range now, really stretching its legs, isn't it? No demand follow through last 48 hours from last week's push up, really, to be honest, was there? So not surprised really to see the pullback that we've got going on now. Obviously, this is a little bit of a deeper pullback. We'll go and have a look at the range in a second, but just immediately, let's have a look at this together, because I've been away from the desk a little bit because I found all of this price action a little bit boring around here. This pullback down to the weekly open there, generally that can happen. We're just tucking a little bit lower here, aren't we, under the value area low of this larger 4-hour range. Okay. So first and foremost, classic TA and all that jazz aside, let's have a look at what the order flow is telling us. We're coming into a little bit of demand again, okay? We can see from our ratios bottom right here, Binance USDT, one of the biggest players in the market, we're just starting to flirt with some double band ratios, okay? So nice bid depth coming in. Doesn't mean it's going to reverse right now. The only thing I'm not seeing is I'd like these little top levels, should I say, top layers. I'd like these to follow up a little bit, okay? Yeah, we need these top levels a little bit higher. My problem being here is, and we will have a look at some other data together, obviously, because yeah, I've been away from desk a little bit, not particularly looked to see what volume and etc. is doing, but this, if we do start to stretch the range down here again, we've already been down here a couple of times, haven't we? We have already been down here a couple of times. So I don't particularly want to go down there again if this range is going to hold. I'd prefer we get what we're given, obviously, but as a range trader, you don't want to see these lower levels fail again. To be honest, you want to find some bid depth sooner or later and start to pull up. Now, that can be a slow process, but that's kind of what you want to see now. But nice to see from one of your biggest exchanges, you've got double band ratios coming in. Other players, not too interested at the minute. Nothing to see from Bitfinex at all, really. Bitstamp a little bit messy again. Bit of a warning sign for you there if you were looking at that yesterday. I am just on a 5-minute chart at the minute because I like to zoom in when we've got a little bit of key price action going on, so to speak. Okay, so yeah, Coinbase, again, they've got some depth there, but it's 2.5 to 5% away, as we can see on the ratios here as well. So nothing particularly amazing at the minute, is there, really? Yeah, we need a bid. We need old Larry Fink on the phone to his BlackRock sales team to start pushing this. Interestingly, Gemini have got some levels lower. Kraken USD, nothing to speak of. Kraken USDT, tell me if you know which one of these does bigger volume. They seem like they want to protect 62k, so I've seen that level floated about from some classic TA guys. Not particularly fussed myself where the level comes in. I'll just watch this as the price action happens. Qcoin starting to take a little bit of interest again here, right here. Okay, so it's possible in the next few hours or so that we could, you know, get one of them group spot bid alerts. Okay, we could probably get some group spot bid alert coming in. Those guys tend to be a little bit early, but sometimes it can just be enough to turn the market a little bit if you're looking for that sort of, you know, a little couple of % day trade up. But generally generally, there's not a lot here, to be honest. So we're going to have to go and have a look at some other stuff as well. We're going to have a look at volume and open interest, because if there's not much selling volume going on here, and we do catch a little bit of spot bid, it might just be enough to turn us. But I'm not convinced right now. I do have to say, Binance perps, interesting. White line here is just our general value area low of the range. So if you're not in a short from higher or a hedge position from higher, I certainly wouldn't be chasing this down right here, right now, looking at these ratios. But yeah, Binance perps 60k level again, and again, I just don't like to see that, to be honest, because it's the range bottom. So let's go review some other stuff. Drop your questions, console related, TRDR console related or not, in the chat box while we have a look at some data together. And also grab a link from below if you're not familiar with the console or you're new to the console, and grab yourself a free trial and jump in the socials as well. But yeah, okay, so we've got a little bit of bid coming in now from perpetuals, and I think the funding profile's not too shabby, to be honest, so we'll go and have a look at that. What I want to do first is, just on a 15-minute basis, I'm just going to go and have a look at volume with you guys, because, as I say, I've not particularly looked at it. So yeah, I mean, I think open interest is pretty good, lower and higher time frame now anyway. Perpetuals were doing a lot of selling the other day, just to show you where we've kind of come from. Yesterday morning, as I was waking up, this was the kind of price action we were seeing at 66.8. One of the guys in the Discord, can't remember who it was, show yourself in the chat if you're here, but one of the guys in the Discord pointed out that retail were getting heavily long up into this little flat zone up here, as bigger players were coming off. So we said in the Discord yesterday, yep, likely to come down. First initial area for myself was that 64.9 area. We're now trading and auctioning price below there, so not the best, to be honest. What we're seeing in volume right now, perps looks pretty chilled. That's obviously coming from these guys here, one of the biggest players in the market. So you haven't got any major selling from perps right here, right now, and I kind of expect that, really. Spot, nothing to see, really, nothing to see. But open interest, LS ratio, nice little cluster there. What might mark a little bit of a better bottom, so you could churn this area out. What might mark a bit of a better bottom is if you just grind this down a little bit more while building these divergences. And then again, if you're familiar with this template, the Volume King template, go and have a check of the playlist on YouTube if you're not. Funding overall is pretty chilled, but if we get a big kind of like drop in negative, neutral to negative funding, that'd be a nice cluster down here if you're familiar with that template as well. So just all the usual ingredients for a nice recipe to float this back up, but not, apart from Binance Spot there, I'm not seeing. It looks okay. I wouldn't be chasing shorts, like I say, but it's not looking like a big V-shaped recovery. And as we are under this value area low, which is this white line, you could just float up, tap that again, and come back down. We have actually already tapped it once there. So volume, okay. Open interest, not too bad, but no major edge. I would be screaming, shouting, and shilling like the other week at 60k, 59, 8k in the socials and the like. If I thought this was looking shit hot, as we say over here, but at the minute right now, not the best, to be honest. Let's just go check liquidity while we're here. I'm just going to go to 1 hour. Yeah, a few liquidations was coming down here, and as I say, open interest pretty chilled. Let me go to a 4 hour basis on this beast of a template. Yeah, I mean, open interest has risen through this rise up here, but that is kind of obvious, but it's nice to see that as open interest was rising, general liquidity from perpetuals and the spot depth is pretty chilled, okay? So we're not at these kind of like risk-off areas like we were back here, and with perpetuals back there. So look for those highs in those markets. Obviously, as soon as we flush that zone, look for the lows as well. We're kind of diddling in the middle, really. Can we come down for another sweep and really break 60k again. For a really, that'd be a really cheeky sweep, wouldn't it, if we went and cracked 60k again and then came back up. But at the minute, 4-hour basis, you're floating in the value area lows of the range with a little bit of bid coming in. It's obviously not the best to see if you're still holding some long position from here, derivatives, spot or whatever. Let's just go to my new shiny template that I've got. Am I on spot market? Yep, okay, so I'll show you this in a second, but here's a few levels for you if you're a bit of a nerd linger like me and appreciate the levels. Always just areas of interest when price comes down to these levels. Just purely watch the order flow, to be honest. Mentioned 64.9 in the socials yesterday, but there was really no edge there, to be honest. No particular bid came in to just push that back up, and here we are, we're auctioning lower. But yeah, nice few levels there. This was our last risk on area, okay? So 60k, if you're an absolute sniper executioner of the trades, you probably were cheeky and got in at about 59.9ish or just below, depending on what exchange you're trading on. Obviously, prices have a little bit of variance, okay? So it's not the best to see price. Oh, I've got a fib time there. What time is that coming in? 9 o'clock tonight. Okay. Post-US session fib time on the old 4-hour. That's nice to see. So if we get a bit of bid coming in, could mark a low, if you're familiar with Fibonacci time. So yeah, it's not the best to see if you've got a bit of risk on from here. Mentioned in a tweet the other day that, if you've got a bit of risk on from here, you look pretty safe in this zone. But then as the price comes down, you're like, oh, shit, okay. But, I would still be inclined to hold a bit of this. Do you just put in a higher low here and then just get some continuation up? I would almost be playing for that. And if you get stopped out, then so be it, absolutely so be it. But yeah, tapped out there at the previous month POC. What we had there was actually... mentioned this before. This was all a load of perpetual selling, and mainly from Binance USDT. Okay, I do have to say, when those guys are getting involved, one of the biggest markets in the books. Obviously, Bybit is very big as well, but we just don't have all their data because the cheeky fuckers don't provide it. But when these guys are getting involved on the sell side, you don't want to ignore it. Okay, you don't have to jump in short, but you might just want to risk off a bit when these guys are getting involved on the short side, all right? Something to know and remember. But anyway, here we are. Here's our range. Yeah, if you're unfamiliar with this, I posted it the other day in a couple of the socials and tweeted it. But this is, I won't harp on about this too much, go and check it out. But I've just basically, I used to have this in one big aggregation, which is just looking at everything. And I just purely wanted to split it up a little bit. That's all. I wanted to just split these exchanges up here. Volume's a little bit of an extra here because Volume King, I rely on a lot more. And I've just tweaked the funding rate profile so you can see here, obviously, when we hit some negative funding, very, very nice. Just got a parameter down there and a parameter at the top there for the high. And then I do like to see when open interest is nuked as well. Okay, so a bit of a pro template. You may need an upgrade if you're loading this in, but if you are loading it in, and it's too many indicators, get rid of the overlay for one and then possibly just delete all of these and then just jump in here and make it an aggregate, as in click a few more of these on. All right, so yeah, not too shabby. Right, so those are our areas. What we'll do is we'll just go and have a look at OBC as well, because I want to see what order blocks we've got immediately below us. I don't think there's anything massive, because if they were, to be honest, they would show in top levels. So your biggest order blocks at the minute, we've got a few big orders coming in here right now at 63.5, obviously. I say obviously because we've got a bit of bid ratio, as we saw at the beginning of the stream. Next biggest order block is 62.5 there. The only thing I'm seeing as well is you've got a few OBC, order book changes, gaps, okay? So you've got a few gaps in liquidity here. So 63.3, 63.2, these can soon get filled up. You need to keep an eye on them, really. But again, these areas can cause a little bit of wick space, so keep an eye on that if you do get any little wick and flush lower. But yeah, coming into a demand zone again. Not exactly massive, not as big as what we had back here, but coming into a demand zone. Open interest, Not bad, not bad. A lot of contracts in the books vying for a bit of position. Not as good as we had back here, obviously, but not too bad. And funding profile's really chilled, so I've got a feeling anybody that is holding long positions from here in futures derivatives with a funding profile the way it is, they're probably holding on to a little bit of that, to be honest. Right, let's jump forward then and have a look at some other stuff. Let me just go to that exchange. Yeah, so getting a little bit of a bounce now. Let's go and have a look at the 5 minute and see if this top level's defending. Yeah, little bit of a bounce from 700 milli all, Little Wayne. 700 milli aggregated depth, so not bad. I think over $1 billion now is very, very good. Let me just show you that, what we had last time. So you can see it aggregated, so all of the central exchanges book depth, over $1 billion, absolutely great. Gucci, look to get a bit of risk on. We've just tickled 700 million there, so pretty good. I wouldn't be chasing shorts here. If you're holding some long exposure from those lows, you kind of want to see this. Okay, let's just go back to the OBD and see what's happening there. What's everybody doing? Yeah, mainly Binance bid, Bitstamp bid. Kraken want to defend this area, to be honest. That's quite nice to see. They've been moving those USDT levels up. Quick look at Qcoin before we jump into some other stuff. Yeah, Qcoin not bad, and to be honest, I've not even had a Qcoin double band or anything for a long while. These guys generally do get involved when the lows are in. Look at this wick here. You know, they kind of do defend areas. Maybe they've all been filled and they're happy just to chill out and defend this area. That remains to be seen, doesn't it? Okay, Perp's coming in now with a little bit of bid. Yep, not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. It'd be nice to see if that funding profile just came down a little bit. Wouldn't it? Let's have a look. 15 minute. Funding. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, funding is pretty chill, to be honest. I saw it went negative earlier, a little bit earlier, yeah, there. Earlier on, just towards the end of the Asian session, but open interest chilled here. Perps are bidding, as we can see, so your ratios are coming up, volumes coming up slightly. So perpetuals are not particularly selling this down here. Bitfinex have got some sells on, but they do often quite do a little bit of market making on there to hedge their spot positions as well. Be nice if we could see spot coming up as well. Let me just go to a little bit of a lower time frame. Yep, okay, yeah, nothing to see from spot really. Nothing to see from spot at all. Okay. Let me just go back to that. Right, so interesting to see then if 62.6-ish area is going to get defended. As I say, most exchanges have got a level at 60k as well, but I don't particularly want to go down there, to be honest. And I know it's kind of, as I say, we get what we're given, but that'd be tickling an area for the third, fourth time in this range. And if you're into trading ranges, then yeah, oh, that's interesting. Oh, there we go. Right, so that's your first group spot, and Coinbase in the US session. Cheers, US guys have just come in with some big bid, so that's nice to see, and that's what you want to see if you're still committed to some risk on exposure from the range lows at 60k. So we'll just watch this for a minute as I go through some of this shizzle. Just drop any questions you've got, console related, or any nice altcoins setups you've seen, or any nice altcoin trades you've been in and you'd like to share that maybe weren't shared in any of the socials or anything. Maybe you've had a nice short position over the last 48 hours, or you're seeing something right now. Drop it in. How do you enter, Nick? Do you try and catch the lows or wait for consolidation above? I don't kind of try and catch the lows. Like right here, right now, I'm not really positioned, because for me, as I say, this was the last area. Okay, so basically use the top levels and OBD. And if you stick to that, you won't be far off the lows, pretty much. I might exaggerate here. DK will correct me in the text or socials if I'm wrong, but you know, if you stick to OBD, top levels, and use the alert system. So your green circles here are your BTC diamonds, okay? You will probably be within 2.5 to 3% of the low, probably 75, 80% of the time. And that's from experience as well, from using this console for, I can't remember how long, but freaking hell, 3 years maybe 3 years. Yeah, you want to get as close to top levels as possible, and that's what I mean about right here, right now, okay? So right here, right now, we've got some bid, yeah? We've got some good bid coming in. It's good bid. These guys who are bidding this area, they're probably not far wrong. They're a bidding spot, so they're probably, you know, I always say this about spot, and it depends what kind of volume someone may be trading, yeah? But if you're bidding spot here, you're probably okay to hold it within a couple of percent and then see what happens, aren't you? Whereas your high leverage, high octane fighter pilots, you want to see them in as well, which is nice to see here. USDT leverage traders coming in a little bit as well. But yeah, you really like when you really want to see this, to be honest. You want the BTC diamonds, you want top levels, you want OBD, you want you want all the ingredients for a good recipe for risk on, and the same for risk off, you know. If you go back to the socials on the 17th of April in the Discord or Telegram, I won't go over this too much because we did go over this area on the last live, but you had bullish volume divergences, open interest was nuked, everybody had a top level here. You went slightly lower, and especially on this one, this was very cheeky, okay? But massive top level here. This top level was massive on Binance, on Coinbase, on KuCoin. And yeah, the trifecta, exactly. Richie Rich knows. But yeah, so I won't go on about this too much, but yeah, basically massive top level, and you want these guys to get either filled, so then watch your trader panel, or just defend the area, okay? So defend that area. And then risk within for me personally, 2.5% away. But for me, right here, right now, I don't see any edge here really, apart from you've just got a group spot. So this can float up, and if you're long from here, this is good to see. But I'm you know, I don't know. There's good bid here. There is good bid. Yeah, I can share. Can I drop it in this chat? I think I can drop it in this chat. Which template do you require, sir? I've got a full menu for you here, sir. I can share OBD. This is my OBD. Let me drop this in the chat. Let me hook you up with a fine template. But yeah, there's or if you want any others, just go browsing in here. DK's got some great ones. Some of the other guys have got some great ones. And more often than not, what you'll find is a lot of the templates are very much the same. It's just we're all very OCD about our colours and everything else. So people will load a template and then simply change colours. But I can guarantee you this template I've got is stolen from one of the OGs in TRDR, and I've just tweaked it a little bit for myself. You know, personally, I like a 30 ratio on the OBD for perps, for instance. So it'll only print an overlay if perps is at 30 and over. So you get him on here. But some guys like to see it 20, and I do get that, because sometimes when you get a 20 ratio, especially from the supply side, it can be a good indication of going a little bit risk off. All right, so yeah, fill your boots though. And if you want any others, just go and search Nick, and they're all in here, all my shared ones. So, but the main OBD, main one, and I call it aggregated. And it's funny, I had a question about this a little bit earlier. I don't know if it was a question about this template in particular, but I call it aggregated because my general depth here is telling me general demand, general supply, okay? But then I do prefer the overlay like this, where I can just flick through the various exchanges. But yeah, there's obviously in the playlist, there's a video on that also, which is quite old, which is probably due for a little update actually. I might in the next few weeks or so update some of the tutorials, because mentioned this before, but certain parameters are changing, you know, especially if you look at like the Liquidity King template and stuff like that. Lot of parameters have changed, so we might update some of the videos soon and do some little refresher videos. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, a little bit of a bid now. I mean, you've got this, for instance, you've got this top level here. We'll call that 62. We saw it in the OBC anyway, but it's not massive, is it? You know, if you're in no trade, you'd almost want this level, this 60k again. But my issue with that level is it's been tapped 3 times already. And if you're quite familiar with trading ranges, which I'm sure a lot of you guys is, the more you tap a level, the more likely it is it's going to break at some point. But you know, I'm not going to get too bearish yet, especially when we keep getting depth of book like that. So yeah, okay. Have I missed any questions? No. Yeah, let me know if you can't find those. I mean, those templates are all in the socials as well. Right, we'll go and have a look at some alts and do the usual stuff. But obviously, there's a few green alts in the market, but it's probably from them moving up last night, I would say. And then they're okay. Some of them are going against the grain. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Basic. Right. So this is random, and Arkham. I'm not even. I have to be honest. I'm not even too familiar with the project, but this is what you want to kind of see, especially if you're trading alts as well. Okay. So you see your top levels here. Okay. So you came down, and the $2 level was defended, but then so you could have been long there, but then the top level faded. I actually don't think it got filled, and then someone came in here with a top level, 1.98. So a cheeky liquidity grab below that obvious, you know, it's an obvious area. So that'd be what you want to get in. And I obviously wasn't watching this at the time, but I think that probably could have filled that top level there. Okay, so that's your entry right in there. Give yourself about 2.5, 3% risk, 2.5 preferably. And then this is what you want to see. So as price then goes, you want to see these top levels come in and start chasing up because they want to fill, you know. So that's a prime example on an alt. I can't say I've seen many more today. Let's go and have a look at Vitalik's coin. Interesting. ETH has got no real bid whatsoever. There's a real lack of interest in Ethereum, so I'm not going to dwell on Ethereum too much, to be honest, because we look at it every week, and it's just doing the same stuff as what Bitcoin is, isn't it? So yeah, it's boring. In fact, I can't even look at the chart. Let's move on. Let's go and have a look at Sol. Let's have a look at Solana. Yeah, it's coming down. Not bad. I mean, it's had a big move up. So I think I mentioned this on the video the other day that I posted. Go and check that out. That I think it'd be nice to come and confirm this trend again in this area. So I would keep an eye on this because I think it might be interesting. If you've executed down here, you probably, you know, you're more than likely all right at 130 unless it starts to break this funnel area. But this would be quite nice if we can come down here, confirm this area and go. And I can't have that in red because it looks like a teacher's marking a class book wrongly, doesn't it? When you used to get your English and maths wrong and they used to mark it in red, you knew you were in trouble instantly. But yeah, it'd be nice to come down and just tickle this area, confirm it. And that's why I think the market could be a little bit boring for the next few days or so, maybe. It just needs to auction price a little bit. I think, and then move on from there. Okay, right, but yeah, Sol still looks good. If you can bid, I would just watch this 140. You know, again, watch if it clips below 140 and grab some liquidity. Maybe that could be quite nice. Let me just get rid of that fixed range because it's of no use whatsoever. But yeah, let me have a look at spot. Yeah, nothing on spot. And interestingly, again, if anyone watches these charts and there's like lack of activity, especially in the spot books, because it's nice to see the spot charts lead, really, especially in alts. Yeah, we'll have a look at ARB. What you don't want to see when there's no activity in the books. So you can say generally aggregated, yeah, it looks like it's in depth. It's kind of in some bid, but it's probably mainly from perps degens filling this up, trying to catch lures. What you don't want to see to the opposite side of those bids chasing up that we just saw in Arkham, was it? You don't want to see a top level like that there at 160 get defended on Sol. I'm not sure if there was too much supply there. You don't want to see it rotate down and then see price continue to cap on lower highs like this. All right, so something to be aware of. So Sol needs a little bit of bid as well. Obviously, I think Binance is still going to be one of the biggest exchanges. Have I got any data from Bybit? Bit degenerate, that one. Let's have a look. Yeah, I would just watch. I would watch Binance and just see if you get some follow-up bid. And basically, if anything, even if you don't see a massive wad of fat bid coming here, at the very least, you want, again, just watch these resting limit orders. You want these to follow price up, and you want these resting offers above price to just disappear. Okay, so you want price to float up, these disappear. And, it's very easy to spot when you get it. Let's go and have a look at ARB then. For Richie Rich. Yeah, it's getting pretty bid. I'm not familiar. It's been a bit lacking like LDO, hasn't it? Price action wise. It's getting a lot of bid. No particular edge right now. Let's have a look. Okay, let's go to a little bit of a higher time frame and just see what the chart's doing. Ooh, it's got some big volume divs. Volume's looking okay, so it's almost an open interest, flat as anything. So it's due a correction, definitely. The only thing I don't like on some of these alts is they haven't come back and filled some of this wick space, have they? If you compare this to Bitcoin, we'll come back to Arbit in 2 seconds. Okay, if you come back to Bitcoin, you've got all this wick space ultimately filled, and eventually kind of got this 2 or 3 drive down here with bullish divergences. So it really bedded out that area of demand and then floated up. On a lot of alts, they've not gone and filled that wick space. Now, obviously, it's not ultimate rule of thumb that they have to, but yeah, I'd prefer it if they did a little bit, to be honest. What's the 15-minute chart doing? Yeah, you've certainly got some bull divs coming in here on ARB, and this is a nice volume king cluster that you don't often see on altcoins, so it could do okay actually. I just wanted to look at the 4-hour, didn't I? God, yeah, it's funny. When did it run up then? So it ran up back in December, and then it's just curled over, hasn't it? I mean, I don't particularly like the look of the chart. I've got no real edge in that, to be honest. Let me have a look at the daily then. God, yeah, it's like I mean, this is obviously a newer coin and hasn't got the history, but I mean, you could say it's come back and tested this zone. God, yeah, I don't know. I mean, that looks horrible. That whole run up and then reverse everything looks horrible. If you compare that to, yes, I'm going to go back to Solana, unfortunately. If you compare that to Sol, that's putting in this nice kind of funnel pattern, granted it needs to hold these 140, 135 lows, but that, I mean, Sol just looks like it could just kick off in a minute. And then even if you compare that to, say, Linkydinks, shit, I haven't put my glasses on. Let's Link. So even Link flowing up, and it's kind of trying to, Link's right, the POC coming back to the value area low. Yeah, so I mean, even the Link chart, this whole bounce on Link is absolutely disastrous. It looks shit. But the only thing I would say is on charts like this, it's just going to probably form a bigger range, and could well be still okay in the longer term. Whereas ARB, is it a good asset? Has it got a lot going on? I'm not sure, to be honest. Tell me if it's got, is it a good asset? Yeah, gonna do that, I'm afraid. Trendline, City. I mean, that you just need to look at that for kind of like link. And I know I hate trend lines, to be honest, but I know the traders are looking at them, so I like to eyeball them as well. But yeah, that's not bad, is it, on link? And then if you consider this range here, you know, you might just want a bit of this. I think I mentioned this in the video the other week. A bit of $12 price action, sir, or Sergey, should I say? But you know, and then carry on. But if not, it's just going to probably range all summer. It's something stupid like that. But then, yeah, if you then you just go back to ARB for a second, is it one big range? Is it? All right, yeah, you've got me going. Let's draw another trend line. Wick, so you've got wick space. Yeah, good fundamentals, layer 2. Yeah, it's a funny one though, isn't it? Because none of these, God, the shinier assets are doing better, aren't they? I think these are good spot plays, aren't they? Definitely good spot plays. We're all really, really good spot plays. I mean, yeah, it needs a bounce, doesn't it? It definitely needs a bounce soon. You all love the fixed range, don't you? Yeah, okay, not a lot to see there. Yeah, I've got no real edge on her, but I do have to say, I don't know what to make of it. It'd be nice if it holds some of these lows, but it wouldn't surprise me if you could even get some kind of fake out here, fill some of this wick space, come back in. That'd be a nice one. Just look for some real fat bid down there. That'd be really, really good. But no real edge. Similar on LDO, actually. I wouldn't mind just going and having a look at LDO and seeing what the chart looks like and what it's got going on. Yeah, LDO, similar. A lot of these, yeah, ARB, LDO. I'll go and look at Maker in a second as well, actually. Is it? Really? Right, okay. So it's going to be a good play for the coming next couple of years, isn't it? Or you would think so. You would think so. LDO, yeah, very similar. Very similar. Shame, isn't it? But you know, when sometimes when charts look ugly, it's good. You know, I'm just going to edit this slightly. Sometimes when charts look ugly, it's really, really good. You ever notice when crypto Twitter says that ETH is dead, look at the ETH BTC chart, it's going to crash to zero and then it bounces. Yeah, not bad. Yeah, same with LDO. I mean, it's going to be a hell of a move, isn't it, if some of these alts do want to go and fix some wick space, because you're talking like another 10 to 15% down from here. The only advantage of that is that everyone will get super, super bearish, which will be really, really nice when you've just had the halving and everything else, all the other narratives that have got going on, ETFs and stuff like that. Super, super bearish people down here. Right, let's crack on. But does that happen before summer? Yeah, exactly. See, it's always the case. Does that happen before summer? That is the only thing. Do we have a boring summer? Let me just grab this. You know, you could almost see stuff like LDO in this massive big range, and this could be typical of a few other alts. I will go and have a look at the order book flow in a second, but you could almost see LDO kind of doing something cheeky, you know, all summer. I'm up to July there, before it starts running, and it'll be a funny one. And some people will absolutely fucking hate that, to be honest. Excuse my language, because not only will the spot bags look bad, but they won't be able to trade it because some people don't like trading these sort of ranges. So they'll stay sidelined when in reality maybe a plan should be formed if this kind of scenario is going to happen all summer. Then yeah, be prepared. I don't know, obviously. I've got a feeling Bitcoin can certainly run before then. So whether it takes the altcoins with it or not, obviously remains to be seen. Let me just go and have a look at the bid on LDO. Yeah, open interest nuked as you come down. That's nice to see. Did it have a good order book there? No, not a lot to see on LDO really. That's actually a top level there. Someone was cheekily trying to fill just under that 1.95 level. No major edge. It might be bouncing. Is big boy Bitcoin bouncing? Yeah, a little bit, not much. But if you just appreciate a game, we'll go back to alts in a second, where you are. You know, this bid needs to continue, to be honest. This bid needs to continue. Cherry on the cake, get the funding profile a little bit lower, so that people want below 60k again, and then you might get your run back up. Any lack in activity there, then you're probably going to fail or something. Right, let's go look at some other assets. I do want to just go and have a look at the order flow on Link for a second, because we just looked at it on higher time frame, didn't we? Messy book. Look at that. This is a messy book. If you've been on the live sessions before, then you'll know what I mean by a messy book. No particular edge in that whatsoever. Shame. Oh yeah, Maker. Let's have a look at Maker. You know, it's actually trending pretty well, better than most. Another thing to remember when you're looking at the alts as well, if you just look at the Liquidity King template, works well for altcoins as well. Okay, so just look at really high parameters in perp, spot, and open interest, as you've seen here. So just on a 4-hour basis on Maker, altcoin at the minute. Don't know why I'm not getting liquidations, forget that. High open interest, high spot liquidity, then high perps liquidity, probably people chasing long positions up here, I would suspect, and it calls the top, just to highlight that. But yeah, Maker's not a bad chart again, because it could come and fill this wick space, and it still just looks like it's trending, doesn't it? Let me just go to a daily, show you that. And this is what I mean about it's actually nice to see, to be honest, because some charts look shocking and have been absolutely hammered. And then other charts like Sol, Maker, I say it looks nice, it's high as fuck, but what I mean is it's just trending nicely, isn't it? Let's do the classic. I'll go from back there. And yeah, I've got H&A candles on. Forgive me, crypto gods. But yeah, all looks nice. Maker is a nice chart. Again, your best risk reward here. Fill some wick space, come back to trend, a little bit like Sol, bore everyone to death, and go. But yeah, I don't. Again, I'm not too familiar with the narrative on Maker either, to be honest. As in, is this fair value? 2,400, 2,500? Is that fair value on an asset like this? Are a lot of people utilising it? Has it still got a good team behind it? Yeah, you guys know more than me, make the decision, but I just like charts like this, very constructive. I would be setting some alerts on stuff like Maker, even if you were just to day trade this, and just sit and wait. When you get some alerts down at these kind of levels, you know it's possibly going to look pretty good. Let me just go and check the order flow on that then. No major activity here. What I would say is it does get it now and again. If you see up here, so you do get some nice order flow sometimes on Maker, even if you're just day trading. Top levels coming in, following price up. You get a good 8% trade there. It's been smashing the offer side like this. Okay, so big top level, smashed it. Don't know if that guy filled and then it got pulled. But just bear in mind that it's a strong trending asset. Okay, it's sometimes it's going to smash some of these offer sides. And what you want is confluence to the BTC chart as well. So look at Maker BTC at the same time you're looking at the USDT spot chart, all right? But yeah, Maker does have some good order flow now and again. You know, at the lows back here, getting loads of bid alerts. I don't think I have the alert on anymore, but loads of bid alerts. You have to time it a little bit and wait for that real deep depth of book. You probably had some volume divergences down there as well. And away you go. All right. Right, let's have a look at a couple of others. Is the hat staying on? Looks like it. It's a constructive chart, to be honest. So last week, was it last week? Am I on a 1 hour there? Yeah, 15. Let me go to a 15-minute. Yeah, the hat's staying on, isn't it? The hat is staying on. I can't believe the market cap on this thing rising and the price it's done already. Dogecoin holders will be fuming, won't they? And actually any other dog meme holder will probably be fuming at this thing, going, God, you know, it's battling the $3 area, as you know, as you've got Doge with its 20 odd billion market cap still floating below $1. But yeah, nice chart on WIF. This one we obviously mentioned last week, this zone to keep an eye on it. Massive bounce, hit some supply, came back down. I think we were chatting at the time saying I wouldn't, you know, it's probably a good short, but it's such a strong asset. You've got to be careful, really, especially if you're using leverage, all right? But came back down, basically a lower high, and it just goes again. And then it's just grinding. Top levels are good on these assets as well, okay? Top level in defense, wasn't watching the order flow at that time, but it's in demand. There's a top level. What do you want to be doing? You get your stop loss below the top levels. Okay, so whether you're trading this on DEX or whether you're trading this in perpetuals on Bybit, Binance or whatever, 2% risk and a 26% chart. Obviously, execution in and out, down to individual traders, but a very, very nice fucking trade, all right? If anyone's catching stuff like that. And we're bouncing up now. And again, you know, it'd be nice to see the market float up today, I think, after 2 days of downside. But this is what you want to see. And it'd be nice if you can get some stronger top levels in here as well, pushing this up. So top level here, I don't think this entity got filled, and they've had to chase price up right here, okay? So I wasn't watching. It might not be the same entity, but that's basically what you want to see. I've not been filled. Oh, shit. All right, okay, I'll put my bid in here, you know? I'm in on the boop. What's the boop? What's the boop? Right, let's have a look. I tell you what I want to go and have a look at. For all the lizard, alien lizard overlords out there on planet Earth, if you're watching, your XRP coin is absolutely stacked with bid. On ARB, yeah, okay. Looking at WIF on the ARB, yeah. Always a gamble. Yeah. Yeah, for all the lizard alien overlords, your coin is well bid. So whether that is, yeah, I don't know, just really, really well bid. These guys, they kind of pulled some bid here. I don't know if they got filled again. I wasn't quite watching the trades panel at that time, but then they've put in some massive bid here. Double bands depth, quite a bit on the books. Let's check volume on XRP. I don't trade XRP. I haven't held XRP since 2018 into 2020 because it's boring as fuck. But yeah, bullish spot divergences, which is obvious looking at your ratios. Okay, open interest absolutely nuked. Funding, I kind of ignore that really on an altcoin, but yeah, nice bullish divergences all the way down on XRP. That, you know, whether you think you're in a turning point for Bitcoin or not, I would trade that all day long. Absolutely all day long. I'm just seeing if it wicked into the, yeah, you had like 45 minutes, half an hour to try and execute in here, you know. Execute as close as you can in this zone. We don't know where it's going, obviously. We just manage risk. And you want to be managing your risk right under these fat top levels. I think they're still there. Let's have a look at trades panel. Yeah, they're still there defending price, so they've not quite filled yet. But that can be sometimes the case. Look for them to either fill, all right, or defend price. And at the minute, you've got a 2% risk there. I mean, don't chase this right now unless you're an absolute degenerate. But then not financial advice, obviously, ever. Just do some paper trading. But yeah, 2% risk under those massive bids could do all right. Even if XRP just goes back to resistance, all right, at 0.542 ish. So even if it just goes back to resistance as a perps day trader, 5.5%, absolutely massive. Your Wall Street burgers would be loving that kind of percentage on a day. Right, what else do we need to look at? STX. Oh, nice diamond at the bottom for FTX. They do fail now again. But what have I always said on this? You need to take into context the wider picture of what the market's doing. Trade this one alongside Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin doesn't look like it's bottoming and you get an altcoin bid, it's not always the case that you should be getting in this market. But if Bitcoin's looking good, STX is a good one. All right. Other coins we need to look at. What's SAY actually doing? Oh god, that's a mess. That's TUSD. Ooh, that was a nice short. If anyone saw that, I didn't see that again. So okay, yeah, I mean it's pretty obvious, and we don't need to obviously stick on this too much, but short positions, same as your longs. If the guy's still in here, guy or girl that was asking about positioning and entry, okay, you've obviously got to see this zone, yeah? So price is rising up, and whether you're of the opinion that this is at 0.68, 0.67, that say is highly valued and you think you should short it, it's at the top of its trend, it's at the top of a range, whether you think you should short this or not, this is the kind of thing you need to be looking for. And again, you've got 1, 2, 3, yeah, so you've got 40, these are 15-minute candles, you've got about 45 minutes there to execute your trade. And again, really, especially with alts, 2.5%, so your stop loss is just above this top level here, and do not move it, okay? If you're going to get stopped out. If you see these top levels get pulled, okay, then it's likely price is going to break through. So then either just kill your trade or let yourself get stopped out, right? So yeah, but yeah, nice one on SAY if anyone caught that into those lows. I don't know what it is I've got marked there, but yeah, nice 11% trade from the other day. Catching a bit of bid now. I don't know what this white line is. I don't know what this white line is I've got here. So I'm just going to have to go and check that out. Excuse me if you just lost the screen there for a second. Let me know if you did. Did I go full screen then? Let me know if you lost it for a sec. Let me just go and check on a higher time frame basis where this is. God, yeah, it's ranging for a while. Actually, that's a nice chart. Wow, yeah, it's been raging for a long while, hasn't it? Let's have a look. I mean, yeah, you'd say it's high, but it's been running. God, yeah, it's been running up, actually, and done well since last October. Really, really nice chart, actually. Deviations into this low area could be really, really nice. If it holds. And I think it's pretty, yeah, okay, so yeah, my value areas are still valid there. This is just on a daily basis. You can see 3 days ago, it just hit the POC. That was where we saw that supply a minute ago, okay? And it's just coming back down now. Again, do we go and fill some wick space and then get some continuation? But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Let me go grab a fib. Where could this go? Yeah, you don't want to start trading into this area for too long. It's going to look a bit shit, isn't it? You don't want it. Yeah, you don't want that. You want to catch some bids soon on this one. Really, let's go back to the old order flow and check what's going on. Yeah, so it's getting a nice bounce from that area. You can see just on the white line there. Not too shabby. Not surprising either. Yeah, so if you are long in this sort of stuff, just keep an eye on that supply again at the POC. while we're on these kind of coins, while we're in the S's, let me go see what Sue's doing. Ooh, nice bid depth on Sue. That's a nice one as well if you're into this asset. Saw this guy shilling his coin at a crypto fight night the other day. I wasn't there, but I was watching it, and yeah, he was shilling his asset. We've got bull divs. Nothing. Okay, yeah, you could kind of see you got bullish divergences on Sue. Open interest was at the lows, now floating up slightly. Don't mind seeing open interest float up when the volume's coming up slightly with price action, okay? That can be a good thing. New contracts opening, people positioning to the long side. So yeah, pretty good. Right, give us a shout if there's any more assets we need to look at, because I've been chatting shit for a while. We looked at, oh, let me see what RUNE's doing, because RUNE had a really nasty breakdown. Yeah, again, price dropping lower, you don't want to see someone capping price like that, you know, and to the opposite side, you know, if you're just the same with longs, you know, yes, it's gonna, you know, it looks like it's coming down now, but same with long side, same with short side, you don't want to see people capping price. It just means you know, you're inevitably going to go lower for a period of time, but then they've pulled that there. But yeah, RUNE, nice bounce on RUNE. Did it get some spot bid? Yeah, look at that. Very nice. So if the guy is still in here again, who's asking about entry, okay, and this is very similar to Bitcoin when Bitcoin was floating above 60k, but we had the top level at 60k. All right, so RUNE has had this level at 5.24. All right, patience is key. You know, if you're a scalper, fill your boots. You might be in some of these trades day in, day out, clipping 1-2% trades all the time. Yeah. But if you, so back on the 23rd, if you're seeing a really, really fat top level like this, okay, patience. Even if you see it come up, okay, that could be a nice scalp day trade if you know, if you're going to get into that. Patience, because it's more than likely that this entity wants filling. Okay, so price comes down, look for this area to hold. At the minute, this is, I mean, I wish I'd seen this earlier. This is already very, very nice. Okay, so again, watch to get entries close to these levels as possible. This is your invalidation. This is the biggest order block in the books at this time. Okay, so entries in here, yeah, you have to execute nicely, you have to execute well, but you know, in this case, I would kind of go 2%, and now that it's moving, I would do that. I would even clip it a little bit higher. Yeah, I would do something like that. You know, potentially even break even at the minute, because you're already up 4%. All right, not many people can do that. You know, you imagine your forex traders scrambling for a few pips in the forex market, and you come along and make 5% on RUNE in a few hours. You know, it's just ridiculous. Altcoins are just ridiculous, aren't they? Yeah, just you've got to look for those. Unfortunately, I know people go on about it, but if you can hunt these out and be patient, all right. If you can hunt a chart like this, when you're going through your alts, what did I look at earlier? And I said it's a right mess. Some altcoins have got really, really messy charts, and it's because the other week when Bitcoin dropped, granted Bitcoin dropped to its range lows, okay, but altcoins got absolutely smashed, didn't they? Like I wasn't even watching it that weekend, but altcoins got smashed, yeah. So what happens with the order books? Everyone's flushed out, so there's just a lack of activity in the order books, and then it takes time for people to come back in, auction price, fill the order books back up. Link was a mess, was it? Yeah. So just remember this. So RUNE, really, really nice. Let's go check Link. There'll be loads of others out there as well. Right, look at Link. Absolute mess. Just no edge whatsoever. You know, people are bidding it. You know, one of the biggest exchanges, obviously. So very nice, good on them. But if you're talking about just generally getting in some day trades, some scalps, whatever, if you can just flick through your watch list every day, all right, Set your alerts. Obviously, I've got RUNE alerts here. I did see it pop off earlier, actually, but set your alerts. So maybe you set, I would set the Alt Diamond Pro, which is in the socials. Okay, DK's. This is one from DK and the guys at TRDR. I've just purely copied this, and I think I've tweaked it maybe a little bit to just the top 2 levels maybe. But also get your spot Alt Diamond alerts in, yeah. Okay, so very, very strong spot demand on altcoins. Okay, and then yes, if you remember Link, absolute mess. If you can flick through your watch list every day and be very, very patient, and you see this, okay, so let's do a little metric for you guys before we finish up. So metrics, we've got replays. If you're unfamiliar with this, I won't show you how it works in too much detail now. Not metrics, what am I doing? Replays. Create new, pick start. Let's go to here. Let's go to start. Right, so here we are, yeah. Let's watch this together. It's I'll make it a 50-second clip. Right, so RUNE's coming down, yeah. Let's play it. So no edge in the market. You've got these bounces here, so that was nice. Again, if you were looking at volume divergences in those double diamonds there, that could have been really nice. Okay, so that could have been a nice day trade. So you're watching price action, and you're seeing below that you're coming into aggregated depth of demand. All right, so you can see demand coming in. Price is still kind of floating up and auctioning. It's hitting supply above. It's come from demand. It's hitting supply. People are selling into it. Probably people trying to get out the market who, you know, are fearful of even, you know, lower prices, so to speak. Okay, so as you come down, start to hit some diamonds again. Very nice. Okay, I can't. Why didn't it show that top level anyway? Let me just refresh that. And does it show the top level? All I was going to say is look for that top level to come in. Let me just see if I can do that again. What all I'm saying is, I wanted us to visually see this top level come in. That's all I was going to say. I don't have to look at it, but when you see that top level visually come in, which is probably not going to do it, it would be something to do with my graphics on Safari, I would think. But imagine, yeah, it's just the graphics. It's probably the refresh or something in Safari here. But when you see that top level come in, you want to eyeball that, and that's your level to execute at. Okay, so same as how Bitcoin was the other week at 60k. That's the level I want to execute at. So you see it come in as price is coming down. You get a RUNE diamond there, so you might be very, very tempted. Let me just refresh that again so we can all see it. You get a RUNE diamond here, but just bear in mind that the wider market, so Bitcoin at that time, was all coming down. So you're more than likely to come lower. You see this top level, that's where you want it. That's your sniper action. That's your execution. You know, sometimes they won't always come as low. Okay, but if you see this, it can be really, really good. So be patient, be patient, be patient. Yep, great. Maybe you, some people grid their limit orders in, don't they? So you could maybe grid a limit order in there, limit order in there, limit order in there, you know, and then you stop loss like it down here, like we've said, you know, and then you fully bid in and you rise up, tighten up your stop loss. If you're a little bit like me and you're just watching the price action and the order flow at the time, because you never know what's going to happen. Does it just crack through and drop? Okay, I like to kind of get in these zones as close as I can, and then just tighten up risk. It like fire and forget trades, really. I mean, this is a fire and forget trade. It really is. Right, drop us some questions and we'll try and finish up because I've been talking shit for ages, haven't I? Before I forget, we'll probably do a Discord in the TRDR. Just want to have a look at what BNB's doing. It's been hitting some supply, but that chart I showed everyone the other day looked good. I think it's going to rise up, to be honest. We'll do a Discord screen share tomorrow as well, so you guys can get involved if you're inclined to do so. If you need any help or anything, you can share your screens and that in that as well. So yeah, Friday tomorrow we'll probably do a Discord screen share where you guys can get a little bit more involved. Is XRP moving? Yeah, I mean, XRP's moving, but God, this community must be tired. They must be really, really tired. It's been 50 years. What's Swift doing? Moving up nice. Right, let's go check Big Boy. Let's go check Big Boy Bitcoin then. Yeah, so group spot bid, but it's kind of stuck in this area. Needs a little bit more, doesn't it? Bitstamp are bidding it. Coinbase bidding it, but they want a little bit low. I don't want to go to these levels. You know, I'd almost prefer if you're going to come down here, crack a little bit, you know, a little bit lower, to be honest, but that remains to be seen. We have got depth. We've got some divs building. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, that's... So Kraken have got a level here, you know. So Kraken have got this level here, and it's a similar thing. Do you go down to this 62 level in the coming hours, maybe post-US session, and fill this area? But I'd prefer to see this on Binance because they're a bigger player, you know. It'd be good if we had all the data for Bybit. We don't, but yeah, I'd prefer to see this on Binance. I do like Coinbase Pro as well, but yeah, God, Bitstamp are really bidding that. Really bidding that. Interesting. Right, is there anything I've missed that we need to... Let me just go look at LTC, see what that's doing. LTC's had some bid, but no real edge here, to be honest. I tell you what I did want to look at with you guys before we log off. What's Tia doing? Oh, God, yeah, it looks shit, doesn't it? What a failure. Or I think it is. It could be. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Right. Oh, shit, I just moved that weekly open, didn't I? Right, drop us some questions or forever hold your peace. If you are new and it's your first time watching, just grab a link from below. Go grab yourself a free trial and join the socials. All these templates that I've shown today from the start onwards are all shareable. Okay, so they're all in the socials, or I can drop you a link if needed. Go and have a look at the tutorials on the TRDR website. There's a load of free alpha on there, and there's a link on there as well, just to my playlist, or just link to my playlist from here. But yeah, expectations here. No major particular edge apart from a couple of the alts that we've looked at today already together. Bitcoin needs a little bit of a push, doesn't it? It really does need a little bit of a push now. It's nice to see the open interest down here. So when I say open interest down here, I'm certainly not in a position to be chasing shorts. It needs to come from up here. The high open interest, high funding profile, but it needs a push. It needs a push, and it needs to get back above some of these levels, doesn't it? Weekly open at 64, just over 64.5-ish, kind of needs to take that level. Needs to get back over these value areas, start taking these, and then it'd be nice if the funding profile comes down, everybody starts to short it. That'd be really, really nice. But yeah, let's just have a finish off on a 4-hour view of the range where we are. So here we are. Can't get fearful if you've got some long exposure from here at the minute, because funding is good, open interest not bad. We just need a bit more bid to float up, and yeah, you know, high low here on a 4-hour basis would be really, really nice. But yeah, remains to be seen. All we do is watch the order flow. Could be a little bit boring today, I think. This is probably the most volatility we've seen since yesterday's drop. Would have been nice to hold that weekly open, wasn't to be. But yeah, this is most volatility we've seen. Yeah, I don't know. We'll do more updates in the socials and stuff if we get any major activity. A group spot bid here could be enough. Could be enough. There's no major top levels apart from Kraken, as we've seen. But if you see back here, a group spot bid was enough. So you got that major bid there. BTC diamonds all the way. The green triangle is actually a liquidity check, so all liquidity wiped out the books. Bounce, higher low, group spot bid, and then we go. Maybe that's all it takes, but generally you got two bids there. Maybe you need to just grind this area out like an auction, you know. See who wants it more. And it sounds very obvious, but if we don't get enough bid, you're gonna have to go and find some buyers a little bit lower, aren't you? Basically. So yeah, we'll call it a day. Join us in the TRDR Discord tomorrow for a little bit of a chilled catch up with a coffee, and you can share your screens, drop any questions on there if you so please. All right, guys, look, I hope everyone has a really, really good week. Seems like multiple alerts at the bottom and then high only before the next move up. Yeah, could be. You need good execution on those as well when you get alerts. Don't be an alert trader, look for the confluence as well, because it does get to the point where the demand will fail at some point because it's just not enough. 2 layouts. I'm not sure actually. Let me have a look. Layouts. Oh yeah, pro plan, number of layouts, 2 layouts. That's interesting. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Mother's Milk's in. We're just finishing off. Drop your questions now, Mother's Milk, or forever hold your peace. Yeah, 2. Yeah, quick summary before we log off. Need a little bit more bid here. I've got a Fibonacci time coming up. 9 o'clock tonight, my time. Okay, so that's just towards the end of the US session. Let's see if we can catch a bit more bid, and I'll post in the socials if this fib time has any relevance with some bid, and we can float it up from there. All right, guys, let's call it a day. I'll be around in the socials if anyone does need anything. I hope you have a great week. Join us tomorrow on the Discord screen share. I'll drop a link for that. Have a great day. Cheers.